What happens when workers discover their government has been stealing 90% of their wages? In China, 2,500 North Korean laborers rioted the first revolt against Pyongyang since 1948. The shockwave traveled 3,000 kilometers to Siberian logging camps, where men were making the same discovery years of 18-hour workdays, and almost nothing to show for it. While their Russian co-workers cashed paychecks and went to bars, North Korean workers got propaganda and paper statements. This is the story of an economic system built on exploitation. Subscribe to understand the reality behind the world's most isolated economy. Every subscription helps expose these truths. I was born and raised in Chongjin, North Hamgyong Province. I enlisted at 19 and served 8 years before discharge. My family struggled. My father couldn't work, his back was ruined from the coal mine. My mother sold tofu at the market just to keep us fed. I needed to earn money. So in 2019, I went to a logging camp in Irkutsk Oblast, Russia. 3 years of work, I thought. And I could buy a house. Maybe marry Mihyang, my fiancée. Siberia was nothing like I'd imagined. 30 below, 18-hour days cutting timber. Chainsaw in hand from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., no breaks. Russian workers on the same site? 8-hour shifts, then off to the pub. They got paid in cash every month, bills in their wallets. We got pay stubs. And a slogan, foreign currency for the motherland. 4 years in, one winter, a co-worker found a broken smartphone. We huddled in the bathroom at night, staring at that tiny screen. Korean dramas. The world inside was nothing like ours. People laughed freely, ate what they wanted, went where they pleased. No one watching. Then one morning at 4 a.m., the door slammed open. North Korean security agents stormed in. Electronic device inspection, they said. They flipped every bed, dumped every bag. Found my phone. I was pulled aside for 3 days of interrogation. Where'd you get it? Who watched with you? What was on it? After that, new rules. No going out after 7 p.m. All smartphones and electronics confiscated. Mandatory surveillance logs, we had to monitor each other. Weekly self-criticism sessions where we were ordered to report one another. If a co-worker complained or said something strange, you had to tell them. It was a prison. Through the window, I watched Russian workers head to bars after their shifts. We were locked in, forced to spy on each other. Portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il hung on the wall. Beneath them, we logged each other's movements. Who went to the bathroom when? Who talked in their sleep? One night in the bathroom, I ran into Choi Young-soo. He was from my hometown. He whispered, "Young, why are we even here?" I had no answer, just shook my head. That night, a question lodged itself in my mind. Were we really working for our country or just being used? The answer came soon enough, in the most shocking way possible. It was a spring evening when I learned the truth. A Russian supervisor, drunk, stumbled through the worksite. A few of us were stacking logs. He swayed over, grinning, and said, "You know, your government takes 90% of your wages, right?" Everything stopped. Yong-soo and Chol-min stared at me. None of us could speak. The supervisor laughed and walked off. That night, the three of us snuck into the bathroom. "Young, is that true?" Chol-min's voice shook. I started doing the math. Loggers made about $2,000 a month. 4 years, nearly $100,000. But according to my pay stub, I'd earned $10,000 total. In cash, less than $3,000. Where did the other $90,000 go? Yong-soo clenched his fists. A few days later, we heard something even worse. North Korean workers in Jilin Province, China. A co-worker whispered the story to us. Young, 2,500 of them rioted at a garment factory. Beat the managers, killed 1, injured 3. I couldn't believe it at first. North Korean workers attacking managers? But the story spread. They'd gone 4 to 7 years without pay. $10 million total diverted to war funds. So they rioted. That's when it hit me. We weren't the only ones. Every North Korean worker abroad, Russia, China, all of us, was being exploited. The next evening, we met again. This time, Yong-soo spoke first. "Hyung, we haven't been paid properly in 4 years. This is exploitation. Just exploitation." Cheolmin added. The Chinese workers fought back. How long do we have to take this? I was angry too, but scared. What happens if we fight back? If we beat a manager like they did in China, what happens to us? To my parents back home? To me, Hyang? Let's wait. Just wait. I said it, but I didn't believe it. How long could we wait? And would waiting change anything? A few days later, we carefully asked the North Korean manager when we'd be paid. He answered coldly, "Wages go toward building the motherland. As revolutionary soldiers, sacrifice is your duty." Something inside me broke. Sacrifice? Working 18-hour days. Is sacrifice? 4 years without seeing family, without pay, that's sacrifice? After that, we were marked as problem workers. Every self-criticism session, we were pulled aside. Other workers started avoiding us. We were being watched. But the question kept circling in my head. Where did the $90,000 go? And that $10 million, where was it spent? Was it really for building the motherland? Or something else? I never found out. But one thing was clear. We were being used. We still had a year left on our contracts. Then one day, out of nowhere, we were ordered home. Not just the 3 of us, about 20 workers flagged as problematic. No explanation. We boarded a train. Days later, we reached the border. Sinuiju Inspection Station. We were held there for 3 days. Interrogated twice a day. Who did you meet abroad? What did you see? Did you watch subversive content? What did you talk about with your coworkers? Same questions, over and over. I said I saw nothing, just worked. They didn't believe me. They searched everything, confiscated the $2,000 I'd saved in Russia, said they'd return it later. I knew they wouldn't. After inspection, I boarded a train to Chongjin. 8 years finally going home. I thought I'd be happy. Instead, I felt uneasy. Something was wrong. When I arrived at Chongjin Station, my parents were waiting. My father's hair had gone white. He stood with a cane, barely upright. My mother saw my face and started crying. I cried too. 8 years felt like a lifetime. At home, I told my parents about the money taken at the checkpoint. My father said it was fine. What mattered was that I was back safely. My mother said she'd been selling tofu at the market to survive. Rations had stopped long ago. A few days later, I was summoned to the security office. The officer looked at me and said, "You've been tainted by foreign influence. You'll be monitored. No party membership. We'll assign your workplace." What did I do wrong? It's not about wrong. It's policy. Everyone who comes back from abroad is monitored. I had nothing to say. Days later, I got my assignment. A coal mine. The hardest one in Chongjin. I tried to see Mi Hyang. Her father refused. The security office must have said something. Her family saw me as trouble now. Talk of marriage faded. The neighborhood watch leader kept tabs on me too. Every week, I had to report who I met, what I said. Neighbors avoided me. They were afraid getting close to someone like me meant being watched themselves. One day, I met Yongsu and Cheolmin in secret. They were being treated the same way. Cheolmin exploded. Tainted by foreign influence? We worked for the country, and this is our reward? Yongsu shook his head. We sat in silence. Walking home that night, I thought, what did I do for 8 years? Worked 18-hour days in Russia, barely got paid, got monitored, came home to discrimination. Was this the life I wanted? Was this even a life at all? The answer was clear. No, this wasn't a life. It was just endurance. The coal mine was hell. 12-hour shifts deep underground, digging coal. Dust choked my nose and mouth, harder than Russia. At least there, I could see the sky. Here, it felt like dying underground. One day, the tunnel collapsed. A co-worker was buried. We pulled him out, but it was too late. He died on the spot. The next day, the mine manager said, "Accidental death. No compensation for the family." That's when I remembered my time in the military. When I enlisted at 19, I was proud. Defending the motherland felt honorable. But reality was different. We didn't just train. We were sent to construction sites, building the Hwaseong district apartments in Pyongyang. 10,000 units, completion target 1 year and 2 months. Impossible. But we did it. We had to. 20-hour days, 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Barely any food. Just slogans, speed battle, speed battle. Some days, we were ordered to raise a 30-story building in 6 months. Impossible, but we did it. Why? Military pride. We were revolutionary soldiers, the vanguard of national construction. Complaining wasn't allowed. That's what we were taught. Monthly pay $50. After deductions, food, youth league fees, MSXC. Charges I took home less than $10. 8 years of that. When I discharged, I had a few $100s. Back then, I thought that was normal. Soldiers just lived like that. But looking back now, that was exploitation too. Just like Russia. Working in the mine, I realized as a soldier in Russia, and now in the mine I'd been used the whole time. My labor squeezed dry, my youth stolen, my future taken. By whom? One night I visited my parents. My father lay at home, no medicine. Going to the hospital cost money we didn't have. My mother sold tofu at the market, scraping by day to day. Son, I'm sorry. Your father's useless. You're suffering because of me. Those words broke me. He had nothing to be sorry for. He'd worked in the mines his whole life and hurt his back. For the country? But the country didn't take care of him. I saw Mi Hyang from a distance, leaving the hospital after her shift. I wanted to approach her but couldn't. I was monitored now. Her family avoided me. That night, I thought, what's my future in this country? Work in the mine until I die. Maybe crushed like my co-worker? No compensation? Is that my life? No. I couldn't live like this anymore. In the military, in Russia, I'd been used. Something had to change. From that day on, one thought took root in my mind. I had to leave this country. Early 2025. 2 months into working at the mine. Yongsu contacted me, wanted to meet in secret. Late evening, remote location. Yongsu and Cheolmin were both there. Hyung, I can't live like this anymore. Yongsu spoke first. His face was gaunt. So was Cheolmin's. 2 months since coming back. And we all looked like different people. Cheolmin said, in China, 2,500 workers rioted. Shouldn't we do something too? I shook my head. Rioting just gets you killed. What can the three of us do? Maybe we should. Yongsu cut me off. Hyung, is there a future in this country? Do we have to live like this until we die? I couldn't answer. His question hit the mark. A future? There wasn't one. Not for people like us. Let's leave. I said it quietly. Yongsu and Cheolmin stared at me. Let's leave. Get out of this country. That night, we talked for hours. How to leave. Where to go? I remembered a Korean-Chinese broker I'd met in Russia. Still had his contact info. Risky, but we had no other option. A few days later, I secretly contacted him. He said he had people at the border. Could help if we had money. $3,000 per person. The money I'd saved in Russia was confiscated at the checkpoint, but we each had a little hidden away. Combined, it might be enough. We prepared in secret. Couldn't tell anyone, especially not family. If I told my parents, they'd stop me. And if we failed, they'd be punished under guilt by association. One evening, I went to my father's grave. My grandparents were buried there too. I knelt and bowed. Tears came. This felt like the last time. Grandfather, grandmother, I'm leaving now. Please forgive me. Walking home, I watched my parents for a long time. My mother was making dinner in the kitchen. My father lay in his room, listening to the radio. Would I ever see them again? Probably not. I saw Mi Hyang from a distance one last time. Outside the hospital, laughing with co-workers. I wanted to go up and talk to her, but I couldn't. Just watching from afar hurt. The broker contacted me. Mid-February. Coldest time of year. Border guards would be less alert. We waited for that day. The night before departure, I couldn't sleep. Success meant freedom. Failure meant death. Or worse, a political prison camp. Public execution. But I had no regrets. Staying meant dying slowly anyway. Crushed in a mine. Starved. Sick. What's the difference? Better to risk everything for freedom. At least I'd be choosing my own fate. The next morning I left home. My parents were asleep. I looked at their faces one last time, then closed the door. Yongsu and Cheolmin were waiting at the meeting point. We looked at each other. No words needed. We'd all made the same decision. We started walking toward the northern border, a road we couldn't come back from. Mid-February night. Below -20 degrees. The three of us took a train toward the border region, a small border village the broker had told us about. We arrived around 11 p.m. The broker's contact met us, silently led us down a dark alley. We entered an empty house and waited for hours. No one spoke. The tension was suffocating, we couldn't even breathe loudly. Around 2 a.m., the contact gave the signal. Time to move. We followed him toward the border, a moonless, pitch-black night. We saw the barbed wire fence. The contact pointed to a specific spot. A hole had been cut beneath it. Someone had made a passage beforehand. We crawled through on our stomachs. Barbs tore our clothes and scratched our skin. But there was no time to feel pain. Past the fence, we saw the Tumen River. Frozen solid, covered in white ice. China was on the other side, less than 50 meters away. Cross quickly. Don't walk, run. The contact whispered. We nodded. Yongsu stepped onto the river first. I followed. Cheolmin came last. We ran across the ice. It creaked beneath our feet. Halfway across, Cheolmin screamed. Hyung! I turned. He'd collapsed. The ice had cracked, or so he thought. It hadn't actually broken, but he was frozen in fear. Then I heard barking in the distance. Patrol dogs. A flashlight beam swung toward us. Stop right there! A shout. My heart stopped. Run! I yelled. Yongsu and I sprinted toward China. But Cheolmin was still on the ground, paralyzed by fear. Go ahead, Hyung. I'll buy you time, Cheolmin shouted. Then he started running the opposite direction. The flashlight followed him. Cheolmin! Yongsu cried out. But we couldn't go back. The patrol was closing in. I grabbed Yongsu's arm. We ran toward China, swallowing our tears. Gunshots behind us. 1, 2. Barking and shouting mixed together. I didn't look back. I couldn't. We reached Chinese soil and collapsed, both of us gasping, lying on the ice. Across the river, flashlights still moved. Cheolmin! Yongsu's voice trembled. I couldn't answer. Was he captured? Shot? I didn't know. But one thing was certain. Cheolmin had sacrificed himself for us. A Korean-Chinese broker appeared from the darkness, rushed us into a car. The car drove with its lights off. Looking back, North Korean soil grew distant. That's when it hit me. I couldn't go back. Couldn't save Cheolmin. Couldn't see my parents again. Couldn't meet Mi Hyung. This was the price of the freedom I'd chosen. Yongsu kept crying. I wanted to cry too, but held it in. We weren't safe yet. In China, we were illegal immigrants. If caught, we'd be sent back to North Korea. The car drove all night. By dawn, we arrived at a Korean-Chinese village. The broker led us to a basement. Stay here for now. There are public security crackdowns. Don't go outside. We sat in that dark basement. We'd survived. But Cheolmin? No one could answer that. We hid in the basement for a week. No sunlight. The broker brought food twice a day. In that darkness, all we thought about was Cheolmin. Hyung, is Cheolmin alive? Yongsu asked. I couldn't answer. We'd heard gunshots. We had to assume the worst. But I couldn't say it out loud. A week later, the broker moved us. A construction site in Jilin province, run by a Korean-Chinese boss. We started working illegally. No ID. If public security found us, we'd be sent straight back to North Korea. So we hid at the site during the day and worked at night. Construction work. 12-hour shifts for 500 yuan a month, less than $100. The Chinese supervisor sometimes withheld our pay. When we complained, he smirked, "Gonna report me?" We couldn't. He knew we were illegal. 2 months in, public security crackdowns began. Patrol cars circled the site. We had to hide again. A Korean-Chinese church pastor helped us, gave us a basement room, brought us food. God will protect you. Just hold on a little longer. His words brought tears. In North Korea, religion was forbidden. But here it was different. The pastor helped us without expecting anything in return. A month later, the broker contacted us. We had to go south, a route to Southeast Asia, where the South Korean embassy was, through Yunnan province to the Laos border. We needed money again. $2,000 per person. We scraped together what we'd saved from construction work and what the pastor gave us. Early April, we headed to Yunnan. 3 days on a train. Every time a ticket inspector came, my heart dropped. If they asked for ID, it was over. Luckily, the fake IDs the broker gave us worked. In Yunnan, we met another broker. He guided us to the Laos border. We crossed at night, hiking through the mountains. Jungle, snakes and insects everywhere. But I wasn't afraid. We'd already faced worse than death. At dawn, we reached Laos, then took another car toward the Thai border. After days of travel, we arrived in Thailand. The broker told us, "Now, go to the police station and turn yourselves in. Tell them to contact the South Korean embassy." We knocked on the door of a Thai police station. The officers looked shocked. We must have looked filthy and skeletal. "Korea! North Korea!" I gestured as I spoke. The police put us in a holding cell. But this time, I wasn't afraid. I knew they wouldn't send us back to North Korea. A week later, a South Korean embassy official arrived. The first person I'd heard speak Korean in so long. He smiled and said, "You've been through a lot. You can go to South Korea now." The moment I heard those words, Yong-soo and I both broke down crying. We'd survived. We really had. May 2025, we arrived at Incheon Airport. Walking through the arrival gate, my legs shook. Was I really in South Korea? It felt like a dream. Outside the airport, I breathed free air for the first time. No one was watching me. No one asked where I was going. This was freedom. We spent 3 months at Hanwon, learning to adjust to South Korean society. How to open a bank account. How to ride the subway. How to use a phone. Things I couldn't have imagined in North Korea. Especially searching online for North Korean news that amazed me. After Hanwon, we settled in Seoul. Yong-soo and I rented a small one-room. Government support helped us get by for a while. I found work at a factory. 8-hour days. Monthly pay. For the first time, money went into a bank account with my name on it. The day I got my first paycheck, Yong-soo and I went to a convenience store. A 24-hour store that alone was incredible. We bought ramen and kimbap. Buying what I wanted with my own money, I didn't know it could feel this moving. But adjusting wasn't easy. My accent was different. People stared when they heard my North Korean intonation. The food tasted different. The lifestyle was different. At first I was lonely, but I had freedom. I could take walks at night, watch movies I wanted to see, read books I wanted to read. No one stopped me. This was the freedom I'd risked my life for. I missed my family back north. How were my parents? Was my younger sibling okay? I had no way of knowing. Had Mi Hyang gotten married? No way to contact her. That hurt the most. I thought about Cheol-min often. Was he captured? Was he alive? I didn't know. Yong-soo and I talked about it sometimes. Could Cheol-min come here someday? We tried not to lose hope. Now I'm living a new life in South Korea, working hard at the factory. My Korean has improved. I think I could even work part-time at a convenience store now. Freedom wasn't free. I lost my hometown, my family, my friends. Cheol-min sacrificed himself to save me. I'll carry that weight for the rest of my life. But I don't regret it. Here, I can live the life I want. No one steals my wages. No one watches me. I can choose my own fate. I believe North Korea will change someday. When that day comes, can I return home? Can I see my parents again? I'm waiting for that day, living hard today. If this story helped you, please subscribe and like. Thank you.